Hello, everyone. My name is Sherbear. It is Manifest with Sherbear time. I am also known as Sherry Elizabeth. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I teach you how to manifest heaven on earth because I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that you can manifest heaven on earth while you are having this third dimensional experience. And it's actually so easy to do once you understand manifestation and how this reality works. So I was just live and my dog was a little loud in the background, so I had to restart. So we're restarting. I'm just going to jump right into it. I am going to be reading with you guys today out of the Neville Reader. The Neville Reader, for those of you who don't know, it contains 7 books in this, and it's actually not that big. It's only, hang on, I'm trying not to get away from this, but it's only this big. There's 7 books in here. One of them is my favorite Neville book of all time, which is Prayer, the Art of Believing. And we're going to be reading out of the chapter Law of Thought Transmission. Okay. Now, when it comes to understanding law of thought transmission and how this reality works, when you understand how it works, it's going to give you an extreme sense of confidence in how easy it is to communicate with someone when they're not even in front of you. So they could literally be 5,000 miles away. Okay. I don't care if they're an alien on a ship, you will still be communicating with them because we are all one consciousness and there's zero time, distance, or space or separation between anyone or anything. And when you understand how easy it is, and I'm going to get more into it, right, and explain what Neville means in this book, you're going to be like, oh my God, why was I ever stressing? This is easy, okay? So again, reading Prayer, the Art of Believing out of the Neville Reader, we're going to start on page 152. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm reading. I also have my essential water here, and I have my chai tea. So let's just jump right into it, okay? And by the way, thank you guys for all the likes. I love you guys. We are going to start going live more regularly on YouTube again. So I will start scheduling those. And if you guys like me reading, I will continue to include this, sprinkle these in. My next live on YouTube will more than likely be reading success stories because I've had a lot of really good success stories lately between the Facebook group and my one-to-one and group coaching clients. So that's what's coming up for the YouTube lives. Okay. Ready, guys? Get a pen and paper if you need it. Get a tea. If you want to take notes, or just sit back, some tea, some coffee, some water, because we're going to talk Neville. And one thing I love about Neville Goddard is that he makes manifestation so simple. I always tell people, if you are ever doubting manifestation, if you're ever having a moment, pick up a Neville book and read it because he breaks it down and teaches us how to manifest so easy, right? Okay. Your consciousness is the light reflected on the mirror of your mind and projected in space to the one of whom you think. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Your consciousness is the light reflected on the mirror of your mind and projected into space to the one of whom you think, right? So that, okay, we're going to get into it, but your consciousness is projected onto whoever you're thinking about, their consciousness. By mentally speaking to the subjective image in your mind, you cause the mirror of your mind to vibrate. Your vibrating mind modifies the light of consciousness reflected on it. The modified light of consciousness reaches the one toward whom it is directed and impinges on the mirror of his mind. It causes his mind to vibrate according to the modification it undergoes. Thus, ready? Everyone listen, because this part's really important. It reproduces in him what was mentally affirmed by you. So this sentence doesn't say anything about he's having his own thoughts. This sentence, or this paragraph, is saying that whatever is mentally affirmed vibrates on the mirror of your mind. It then goes into space, vibrates on whoever it is that you're thinking about, and is reproduced by them. But the thing is, they're not thinking, oh, I'm having this thought right now because it's coming from Amy or Chris or KK. They're thinking that it's their own thoughts. And that's how this reality works, because we are all one consciousness, right? We're all connected. There's no time, distance, space, or separation between anyone or anything, okay? Now, I just want to add that law of thought transmission, also the communication of it also takes place with general assumptions. For example, if you have a general belief that says men cheat, men lie, and I'm not good enough, or I can't trust women, women just want to take you for your money, or whatever the case may be, right? Those thoughts will also get reproduced in people that you encounter in your reality. That's why I always say you have to look at what beliefs you have, because whatever beliefs you have, you're manifesting them over and over, and that communication is taking place over and over in your reality with the people that you encounter, including the specific people that you love and care about. Now, on the other hand, we also have a conception of ourselves with specific people. So you could have, for example, beliefs that say, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, I'm chosen, I'm cherished, I'm valued, I'm loved, I can trust men, I'm safe with men, my relationships always last. But here comes Joe Schmo, right? And Joe Schmo all of a sudden shows you this behavior that's not in alignment with your belief system. Because you could have a general belief, right? Now let me back it up. Joe Schmo could show up this way maybe because of a general belief that sometimes there's F-boys. So that belief will have to get reflected back, right? Now, when things do show up that aren't alignment with our core beliefs that we are choosing to identify with, we have to not react to it. And we have to see Joe Schmo as loyal, honest, loving, committing to you and only you, etc., etc. So you have general self-concept and you have self-concept when it comes to specific people. That is why, and I'm going to continue reading this and you guys will understand it more as I read on. That is why when you have a person, right? And when you're manifesting a person, you have to also affirm and mentally see this specific person the exact way that you want them to be. So yes, you're going to say your general beliefs. I'm worthy, I'm chosen, I'm good enough, I'm valued, I'm cherished, I'm loved. Why do all the men in my reality want to be with me, right? But Joe Schmo, he's so honest and loyal too. Oh my God, it feels so good. Why is he so amazing? Why does everyone else think he's an F-boy? But to me, he's a freaking angel. He treats me like a queen. He buys me flowers all the time. He's always telling me how beautiful I am. Oh my God, I feel so special, right? So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, rewatch, right? That's why I'm putting this on YouTube. So it is here anytime you guys want to come back and read it again with me. Okay. Your fixed beliefs, your fixed attitudes of mind, constantly, remember this word, constantly, because you are creating, you're really not creating as creation is finished, but you're moving in and out of different parallel realities 1 billion times per second, according to Bashar. So it's this constant manifestation, right? And Neville knew that as well. So I'm going to reread that. Your beliefs, your fixed attitudes of mind constantly modify your consciousness as it is reflected on the mirror of your mind. Your consciousness, modified by your beliefs, which is what I was just talking about, objectifies itself in the conditions in your world. So that means that your consciousness will manifest, and that's going to be the mirror that shows up in the 3D. The reflection of your consciousness, which is really your beliefs, is what objectifies and feels very permanent and real and concrete to you in this 3D. Right now, this is really important. Okay, I want everyone to listen to this part. Okay, listen, this is very, 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 very important. I really want you to understand this part. Okay, to change the world, you must first change your conception of it. To change a man, you must change your conception of him. You must mentally believe him to be the man you want him to be and mentally talk to him as though he were. All men are sufficiently sensitive to reproduce your beliefs in them. Therefore, if your word is not reproduced visibly in him towards whom it is sent, the cause is to be found in you, not him. Okay? So, what that means, what he's saying right there is if you want someone to change in your reality, you do not go in the 3D and tell them you're disappointed in them, how dare they, this, that, and the third. Right now, we've talked about how you can have these conversations in the 3D and set boundaries and set a reality that you're going to remain in. But the work is all done in the imagination. And Neville knew this, which is why he said, Neville's like, hey, if this person is not responding back to you the way that you want, the cause is not to be found in him. The cause is to be found in us, not them, right? And that's the good news, because if we know that we're the cause, it's much easier to change our imagination than it is to sit there feeling helpless, begging someone else to change that we feel is outside of us when they're not. They're actually within us, within our, I like to think about it like they're always in our heart, right? Another thing I want to point out about this sentence was Neville said, all men are sufficiently sensitive to reproduce your beliefs in them. So you might think your specific person is special and they're not going to change, right? The answer is no. There's nothing special about them, okay? And I don't mean that to be mean or ugly. Everyone is equally sensitive to change. There's no exceptions. That means that you are limitless and you can experience any sort of relationship or interactions with any person that you want in this reality. Okay? Ready? We're going to continue. As soon as you believe in truth of the state affirmed, results follow. Everyone can be transformed. Every thought can be transmitted. Every thought can be visibly embodied. Now, I want to just add on to that. As soon as you believe in the truth of the state affirmed, results follow. Now, he doesn't say it here, but Neville would talk about for you getting to experience your manifestation in the 3D, it is directly related to the naturalness of it. And according to Neville, the naturalness of it is directly connected to or how to get there. It's by revisiting the state. So if we look at that now in 2023, we have neuroscience, we know about reprogramming the mind, et cetera, et cetera. My really easy to understand answer to that is it's simply repetition of a thought. That's revisiting a state, repetition of a thought. Okay, because and you can also do it through imaginary scenes, which can help, I think, supercharge the feeling sense of naturalness to that. So it basically comes down to staying on top of what we call a mental diet, which is basically you being aware of what you're thinking and what inner conversations that you're having. Because your thoughts and your inner conversations and also your actions, right? If you're checking stories, if you're looking at who liked their pictures, if you're worried about a third party, if you're blowing up their phone, right? All of these things will indicate that you're not in the state that you want to be in, right? Because we just told you how Neville's telling us exactly how this reality works. And he didn't say anything about, you chasing them down, you looking at every little thing that they're doing, okay? It's all done within you. And like I said, that's the good news. That's the exciting news. All right. Okay, ready? Now I want to read this part. The word, I'm kind of skipping around you guys just to highlight some important parts to really give you guys the confidence in understanding how law of thought transmission works. All right, next part we're going to read is the word spoken subjectively in quiet confidence in the imagination, right, will always awaken a corresponding state in the one for whom it was spoken. So he said will always. So not sometimes, not 99%. It will always awaken a corresponding state in the one for whom it was spoken. But this part, I really want you guys to pay attention to this part, because I will say on the other platform that possibly might be banned. So I'm not going to say the name of that other platform because I don't want YouTube to flag this video. But on that other platform, I am constantly getting comments about people spiraling, and I'm like, oh my God, if only they could really understand how this reality works. If they could really, really, really understand, they would not let this skew them, right? Because all of our power is in the reaction. Now, I really want you guys to understand this. The moment its task isn't accomplished, it ceases to be, permitting the one in whom the state is realized to remain in the consciousness of the state affirmed, or to return to his former state. So I'm going to read that again. The word spoken subjectively in quiet confidence will always awaken a corresponding state in the one for whom it was spoken. But the moment the task is accomplished, it ceases to be, permitting the one in whom the state is realized to remain in the consciousness of the state affirmed, or to return to his former state. So I'm going to simplify that into 2023 language. Basically, what Neville said is, once the manifestation, the thought has traveled and reached to whom you are affirming, and that thought has manifested out in the 3D. For example, let's say you're manifesting an apology, right? And you're affirming, Joe Schmo's apologizing to me. He loves me. He's choosing me. He can't get enough of me. He brought me flowers. Or you do an imaginal scene of him showing up at your doorstep with flowers, right? Well, what Neville is saying that once that thought has been delivered and manifest in the 3D, it ceases to be. It's done. And that is why when many of you will manifest things in the middle or manifest in steps, if the person goes back to the former state, okay, you spiral. You think you did something wrong. You think this doesn't work. You're freaking out. All right. I was literally live today on the other platform, and I can't even tell you how many people were commenting stuff like that in my live. This is why I want you guys to understand this, right? They're not outside of you. They are within. Once the thought has been delivered and it manifests out in the 3D, and if things go back to the way it was before, right? I want you to realize that it's all about your self-concept. And that's exactly what Neville is saying here. Neville is saying they're either going to go back to the former state or they're going to stay in the new state. And for those of you who want extra help with understanding states of consciousness, I have an ebook that I will link below. If you use the code Sherbear in all caps for an extra 20% off, I still have that code active. It will teach you how to embody a state of consciousness easily, effortlessly. It's an educational book. It's all with journal prompts. So as you're doing it, you're writing. And I also have a living in the end meditation that's going to help supercharge your reprogramming the mind. It's a brain exercise that I wrote and combined it with living in the end. So FYI, I'm getting a lot of success stories from the book already. And it's only been out for not even a month and a half. So I'm super grateful for that. But anyways, now that is why we talk about self-concept so much in this community. Because remember what I said at the beginning of this live. If you have beliefs that say, I'm chosen, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, the people in my life that I love always remain consistent. They show up for me. They're supportive. They're always going out of their way to make me feel special. I'm so beautiful. I'm so chosen. I'm so loved. And then you're also affirming for this person, right? Eventually, because we do live in a linear time-space reality right now while we're on Earth, right? So our brains operate in linear time, right? I won't get into Bashar's definition of why that is. We'll talk about that another day. Okay, but basically, there is a lag of when things manifest in the 3D. So when you understand how this actually works and you understand, wow, it really does go back to my self-concept. I have to change my beliefs about me. Because once the thought travels, if you spend all your time just affirming for a person, you're going to be on the hamster wheel of constantly having to affirm for them to get them to conform. Because like what Neville said, once the thought travels, it ceases to be. Once it manifests, once it reaches them and it's reproduced in them and reflected back to you, it ceases to be. But if you're strong in your new state of being chosen, of being worthy, of being good enough, of being cherished, of being valued, of being prioritized, of being put on a pedestal, they're not going to have a choice but to also treat you that way. And yes, you still have to identify with them as the conformed version, right? Conformed, right? Or the version of them that's existing that is here for you and showing up for you and committing for you unconditionally. And same thing goes for your boss, your best friend, your parents, your family members, whoever it is. It's the same thing, right? This is how this reality works, right? And this is why I always say, go back to Neville, because Neville makes this so easy. Neville enabled us to understand how manifestation works, and there's no secret sauce. Everything he teaches here, and it's so easy, right? Anytime I'm discouraged, I go back to Neville or Bashar. All right, whatever state has your attention, hold your life. Therefore, to become attentive to a former state is to return to that condition. So basically what he's saying is that if you keep experiencing the same patterns, or you keep feeling bad over and over again, or things keep manifesting, you're returning to the former state. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with you, right? You're perfect just the way you are, as creation is finished and things are only to be manifested, right? Remember, not the former things, neither consider things of old. So he's saying, don't consider the past. Don't hold on to that baggage. Don't carry around the old state's baggage with you everywhere you go. That's why we say in this community, the old man has to die. You're getting rid of that baggage. You're in a new reality where you're top tier queen or king, and your beliefs are top tier beliefs, okay, that are in alignment with everything that you want to have in your reality, because you're going to experience heaven on this earth, right? That's why you're here. You manifested this video, as well as any other self-development, metaphysical videos, books, into your reality, so you can experience things that you want. Okay, we're going to continue. Nothing can be added to man. Okay, now I love this part, right? Everyone really listen to this part, okay? Nothing can be added to man, for the whole of creation is already perfected within him. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven, and heaven is your subconscious. So basically what Neville is saying here, creation is already finished. You can't add anything. You're not going outside of you. You're not running to try to find things, because everything already exists. And the good news is everything exists within you. The kingdom of heaven is within. It is not on the outside of you. It's on the inside of you. So if you're looking for something, newsflash, you're never going to find it, because it's not outside of you. It's within. So get off the hamster wheel, go within, stay there, put the focus on yourself, and your life will drastically change. Not even, okay, I love this part. This is one of my favorite analogies that Neville uses. When I heard this, when I first started studying Neville, this just really, like, I had an epiphany, and this part really resonated with me. So he said, not even a sunburn is given from without. The rays without only awaken corresponding rays within. Were the burning rays not contained within man, all the concentrated rays in the universe could not burn him. Were the tones of health not contained within the consciousness of the one were the tones of health not contained within the consciousness of the one of who they are affirmed, they could not be vibrated by the word which is sent. So basically what he's saying is that you can't even get a sunburn without embodying a state within that might be a simple belief of sometimes I get sunburn on if I go in the sun, right? Thank you, Light Beacon. You're so sweet, my love. Oh my God, I love you. For those of you who are Bashar fans, and if you guys don't know, I'm obsessed with Bashar. Bashar, Neville, love. Please subscribe to her channel because I watch her Bashar content daily. Okay, she literally is an angel. Her Bashar content is never ending. It's amazing. It's inspired me so much. It's become my morning go-to when I'm at the gym. I'll literally put it on and just love me some Bashar. Love that quasi-physical being. So please check out her channel. Love you too, girl. Okay, now this part, I also want you guys to understand this part because this is something that I get a lot too with people spiraling. Distance, as it is cognized by your objective senses, does not exist for the subconscious mind. So basically what he's saying that there is no distance. You might feel that there's distance in the 3D, but within the imagination, subjectively, there's no distance. So anyone that you think is outside of you right now that you may be missing, or a job or money that you think is all not part of you and you're never going to have it, Neville's saying there is no distance. Get out of the objective world and get into the subjective world and use the imagination. Okay? Neville spoke facts. Time and space are conditions of thought. So basically, if you think someone's outside of you, that's the illusion that's going to manifest in your 3D. They're going to keep showing you that they're outside of you. But if you learn that they're within, you start to embody that they're within and talk to them like they're already the person that you want them to be, that's what they're going to show you. The imagination can transcend them and move in a psychological time and space. Although physically separated from a place by thousands of miles, you can mentally live in the distant place as though it were here. Your imagination can easily transform winter into summer, New York into Florida, and so on. Whether the object of your desire be near or far, results will be the same. Subjectively, the object of your desire is never far off. Its intense nearness, ready guys, listen. Subjectively, we're going to read that again. The object of your desire is never far off. Its intense nearness makes it remote from the observation of the senses. It dwells in consciousness, and consciousness is closer than breathing and nearer than hands and feet. Consciousness is the one and only reality. So basically what he's saying is, it doesn't matter if they live next door or they live in another planet, okay? There's like in the imagination, consciousness doesn't know space or distance. Everything is within. So I really want you guys to understand this so you can manifest your desires easily and effortlessly. I really hope that me reading this to you, right, will really inspire you not to give up on what you truly want, because the only person that is in your way of you getting to experience what you want is you, by subjectively choosing that state. That's all it is. There's nothing in your way. You don't have to go through years of therapy, and you don't have to go through this entire healing journey to finally get to experience what you want. You have it all within you already. Okay. So it really is, this, I've read this so many times, and anytime I'm feeling in the 3D or discouraged, I will go back to Neville. And anytime I go back to Neville, it always inspires me because, like I said, Neville knew that we were perfect exactly how we are, right? And we'll read that sentence again. Nothing can be added to man, for the whole of creation is already perfected within him. He knew you were perfect before you were even born, right? He knew that you could have anything that you've ever wanted, and his words are still inspiring us today. So I really hope you guys like that. Again, it's from the Neville Reader. The book is called Prayer, the Art of Believing, and I read bits and pieces of the chapter, Law of Thought Transmission. I am going to start coming live more regularly on YouTube. Our next live will probably be success stories. And then if you guys like the reading thing, which I love doing, comment below and we'll schedule another Neville reading time for us to inspire us, right? I also suggest that you guys read Neville, and I even told this to my group coaching girls, like 5-10 minutes a day, even less than that, because that's going to move you into the state of feeling more empowered. Because remember, according to Bashar, we're moving in and out of realities 1 billion times per second. So I don't care if you spiraled all day. I don't care how bad your circumstance may seem. You hold the keys within you, and that's by using your imagination. With your imagination, you can go anywhere. You do not rely on the 3D. The 3D means nothing. It is always changing. It's energy, and energy is always changing. If you're relying on the 3D to tell you what your future is going to be like, good luck, because the 3D doesn't manifest. Your state manifests. What you're mentally choosing and assuming yourself to be is what will eventually, and it could be very quickly, right? And the longer you practice this, the faster you're going to manifest, show up for you in this third dimensional plane. And then you're going to go, oh my God, why did I spend so many years feeling pain, suffering? Why did I make this so hard for me? Right? It's so easy, right? This is so easy. I've completely transformed my life. And I'm going to share some success stories, because I've had a lot of good success stories in my community lately. So we'll do our next live will be on success stories. If you want coaching with me, quantumleapdream.com. Everything will be linked below. And again, if you use the code Sherbear, you'll get an extra 20% off the book. Getting great reviews from the book. Okay. It's a fraction of the cost of my coaching, and you will get results from it. I promise you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the subscribers, all the likes. I genuinely love you guys so much. I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm so proud of me too. We're all in this together. I'll be back. Bye.